major concern over the opening and closing of schools globally. As we've mentioned before in these press conferences, what is important when we consider schools is we consider the context in which schools are operating. Schools do not operate in isolation. They operate in communities and they work in communities. And if there is the virus circulating in those communities, if there's widespread transmission in those communities or intense transmission, it's possible that the virus can enter the school system. And so it is important that what is done in the community of trying to reduce transmission and bring those outbreaks under control is really what the focus needs to be, then to consider opening schools. What we've done as an organization is we've outlined considerations for decision makers about the partial opening or reopening of schools. Remember that schools operate differently globally. They have different types of building structures. They have different types of age groups that they include by various ages. And so what we've done is we've outlined a number of considerations for the schools. First of all, taking into consideration the circulation of the virus in the area where the school operates, where the children live that go to that school, and where the adults that work in that school live. And then look at what are the types of control measures and prevention measures that can be put in the schools, such as physical distancing, such as washing of hands and making sure that there's hand washing stations or alcohol-based rub, making sure that there's good ventilation, making sure that masks could be worn if appropriate. And so there are a number of considerations that are outlined. Schools need to also have plans in place so that if there is a suspect case, that there are clear plans of what to do and how to quickly test and do contact tracing if necessary. But those plans need to be clearly outlined. And also to have good communication. So not only communicating to the students and to the adults that work at those schools, but to the parents of the children that go to that school. How can we communicate about how the school is going to be operated, if it will be a partial opening or a total opening or reduced class size? There are lots of different ways that this could be done. I think we all recognize the importance of schools for children of every age. Not only for education, but for security, but for food in many situations, and for social interaction and mental health. So there are a lot of reasons why it's very important that schools can reopen safely. But it's really critical, I will say again, that it is important that we bring outbreaks under control and transmission under control in the area where those schools operate.
Thank you very much, Dr. Van Kerkhove.